All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Didi the Forgetful Gamer's guide on how to beat One Step from Eden. Now, I've noticed that there have been a lot of people that have been having issues with trying to deal with this game because this game is moderately not easy. And it definitely is going to take some work to actually get used to playing it. But there's some basic steps and guides that you can do, or some certain ways you can finagle your progression so that you can actually make it through this daunting game. And this actually starts right now. First thing we have to do is we need to go to Options, Settings. Make sure Screen Shake is off. Screen Shake being on makes it so much harder to dodge these enemy attacks that it's absolutely just a straight up difficulty setting at this point. I think the devs are saying something along the lines of adjusting the difficulty or maybe adding difficulty settings of their own, but right now, Screen Shake is its own difficulty setting and it needs to be off. Or else you'll just have a whole bunch of visual mess to try and deal with. So once that's set, your controls can be whatever you want them to. I like to keep them as they are. Another thing for people that are playing this for the first time, I recommend going not with a Pro controller, but with an actual dual Joy-Con setup. It's easier to move to individual panels if you have a button that you're pressing rather than a D-pad. It just helps make it more concise. I've noticed with the D-pad on a Pro controller, it's easy to get accidental misinputs or inputs that ended up going up instead of right. You don't want to go where you don't need to be. So as you'll see, there's actually a bunch of characters I have here except for the shopkeeper. Right now, we're just going to do a basic run. So we're just going to try to beat the game from front to back. And we're going to go over the tactics and stuff that I'm employing throughout in order to try and, accomplish that. But as far as unlocking characters goes, the more you progress throughout the game and the more you level up in a run, the more those levels go towards permanent unlocks. Kind of like in Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon kind of fashion, where, or more like Rogue Legacy, where you do good in the video game and then it gives you some money to buy permanent upgrades for the next run. Your permanent upgrades for here is just getting level ups. So you're definitely going to want to try and just not die. You don't have to go out of your way for level ups. Just kill things and not die and you should be fine. We're going to go with default everything. I have some costumes here for her, which is pretty neat, but for the sake of a fresh experience, we're just going to go with default for everything. To get started, it does help that you see you could press Y for details. It'll show you the details of your spells. Like the thunder hits 4 tiles away. This one, it pushes 4 tiles in front. And you have the ability, if you look near the bottom left, it says hold ZR to preview. You hold ZR and it actually shows you exactly what that spell does. It gives you a little grid, kind of exactly like the battle, and it shows you what the spell looks like. It gives you auxiliary information like the fact that this pushes rocks. This shows the step, how long it takes to recharge on standard recharge rate, etc., etc. Her standard artifact is basically self-res. She heals for 600 HP when she dies. This will be paramount to our main objective of beating the game once. It's possible to beat without it, but it definitely helps to have. And this is her main weapon. It just shoots off regular bullets. It helps for, dealing damage when you're charging up your mana or whatever. So, onward. We're going to get this started. This is actually a normal game mode. When you beat the game once, you can actually start it so that enemies have artifacts as well as you. It makes the game obviously harder. They get special crap that they can do. You don't want to deal with that. For now, you're not even going to be able to, but as time goes on, you experiment and see what you want. But for now, we just start on normal. So, there's a number of stages here and a number of enemies. This is what the game basically looks like. Your B and your A button use your spells that you currently have equipped, and different enemies have different patterns. Now, there's no real need to particularly speed run this. don't feel bad about taking your time to learn enemy patterns per battle. You're not really timed. It takes track of your time, but it doesn't really count for much of anything. So, as you can see, each grid is a 4x4 grid. Further ahead of you, you have a little target site that targets onto 4 spaces away. It just helps for targeting with certain attack items and stuff. You'll also notice that this enemy seems to be killing itself as it attacks. I'm pretty sure this enemy can straight up murder itself if we wait long enough, but we don't need to do that. But you can see that it's also healing like every second or so, something like that. We also have a couple of spells of our own. Now, it's hard to see here, but I'll show more when we actually finish this battle. But I saw the display the preview for this attack. It pushes back, and if an enemy is in front, it'll keep hitting them and push them further along. And it also gains you 1 flow stack. If you look at my character's foot, underneath her health, which is at 1200, you'll see a little squiggly line with a number 1. That is a flow stack. Basically, different spells have different effects when you have a flow stack on. There's another one, this, that actually inflicts a frost stack. As you can see, the enemy above has 1 of 3 ice shards above their head. If all 3 of them apply to the enemy at once, they will take 100 damage. This is important because we're going to try to abuse this for the rest of the run. Pressing L2 shuffles your deck so that you get all your cards back. At the bottom, you see your mana. It's basically recovers as you use it. Every spell costs some form of mana. I got hit by wasting spells and not paying attention. And yeah, that's the basics of how battles work. You'll kind of get used to this as you play. Don't expect to be able to do this as soon as you drop down and do things, but it's definitely something to start being familiar with. If you ever play Mega Man Battle Network, this will look really, really familiar. Only difference between Battle Network and One Step is that One Step is ridiculously bullet hell-esque, whereas Battle Network is decidedly not. Now, here's where we're going to do a little bit different than what you'd normally think. Now, this game is heavily inspired by Slay the Spire, and it has a couple of aspects from it. After every battle, you get the opportunity to take 1 of 3 spells. You level up after battles. You can get money, which you can see at the top left, where you could also see the artifact that the character has and the max health / remaining health. And we can actually manipulate some of the items that we get. So while we're here, before we take anything, we're going to press the plus button to get to our deck. This is what we have on hand right now. The Frostbolt, Step / Kinetic Wave, Thunder. If you look on the bottom of each of these spells, you'll notice that besides the little flavor text underneath that, it has a certain symbol with a name to it. Like this one says Anima, under there says Slashfic, Kinesis, and another Anima. You can actually, from the pause menu of at any point in time, you can select a focus that increases your chances of finding the spells of any particular brand. Now, for the sake of actually trying to beat this in a relatively manageable way, we're going to focus on... There's a couple of things we could focus on, but what I like to focus on specifically is Double Lift for the deck and card manipulation, and specifically jam-based weapons and, well, jam-based spells. And then we have a choice of either Anima or Phalanx. Phalanx gives you a lot of shield and protection. Anima gives you a lot of elemental attacks, which can also include Frost. Now, as far as my current understanding of this game goes, because again, I've played this since the beta for a long time, but this is the first time really playing the full unlocked version, right? Frost has a lot of artifacts that you can get during level ups that adjust how Frost works. It adds a lot of extra secondary effects to Frost-based weaponry. Hopefully we're going to get a bunch of these along the way. That's kind of our main goal. Buff Frost and get a lot of jam-based spells, because there's also a lot of buffs to jam-based spells as well. And we're going to try to ride that all the way home. So we have our Double Lift and Anima focused. And as such, we'll notice that none of these at all have anything to do with frost or jam. So personally, I do not want it. It does not matter to me. This is actually our experience screen. We get experience based on what enemies we killed in a fight, how many of them there are, how strong they are, etc, etc. Now after a fight, you get to move around, you can experiment with whatever spells you got. You can go to your deck and remove something if you so chose to do so. You have a lot of options. I like to generally keep her starting 4 because there's going to be different locations where you'll want to be able to hit a specific distance away without hitting the things in front of it. And you'll also want to have access to something that can push things away, and the frost stack because frost is good. So, next main thing. This is also heavily influenced by Slay the Spire. You actually have 3 paths that diverge a little bit that have different types of battles and encounters that lead to the boss all the way over to the right. Now, there's a general rule to how certain things go. You can see that there's a legend over on the left-hand side where you have Battle, Distressed, Hazard, Camp, Shop, Treasure, Mini-Boss. Distressed always has somebody to save. There's people that you can save that give you 3 things, either health, or an artifact, or money, or some other extra type of bonus buff, like the ability to upgrade a spell from your deck here. If you look at the bottom, you see that there's one option to remove, one option to upgrade. They had to have that, or again, healing. Hazard will usually have stronger enemies. It could potentially have a treasure chest or a person to save, usually one or the other, sometimes both. And it will have one stage hazard, which is kind of like a structure, like for example, a volcano that spits fire on both sides of the screen, or a monolith that damages anybody that directly attacks it. You tend to get better rewards and stronger enemies from here as far as getting level ups and getting money, but it also is generally a more difficult fight. And then you have like your basic battles, which are just battles. You have your camps, which basically gives you a campfire that heals you. It throws off little healing blocks, could be helpful. You have the treasure, which has a treasure box that has a random effect. Sometimes the treasure box moves, sometimes it just has a lot of HP, sometimes it auto heals, sometimes it attacks you, but it has a treasure, and the treasure usually always has an artifact of some kind. And then you have the boss, which is a group of very strong enemies that will always guarantee some form of artifact. In the earlier stages, they are a lot more easy to manage, the more difficult things being bosses, but later on you may want to consider focusing more on health or just going straight to the shop to be able to buy stuff to boost your chances. There's a lot of little decision making here, and it gets easier to understand with time, but for now I'm just laying this out here so you can understand my decision making, and I'll explain them as I go along. So right now, since I'm in pretty good health and there's no guarantee that the person to save won't be a person that just will give me health, I'm going to go with the hazard because I want to get the boss for that free artifact, and I want to be able to choose whether or not I want the shop or just the basic battle. Actually, I'm going to go to the shop anyway because I have some things to talk about with her too. But for now, let's go to hazard battle. Those things in the back are actually non-hazardous structures. What they do is they actually, once you break them, they give you money. The hazardous structure is that thing with the 960 at the bottom that shoots that missile. If that missile hits the ground on the enemy side, it will deal 300 damage to everything on the screen. We don't want that to happen. So, quick kill, focus on that. And now we see what options we have. Some spells have extra effects. Like, as you can see, they have like little letters next to them. I'm still trying to figure out what the letters mean. They all tend to have the same kind of effect based on the letter. But this one right here hits the last target that hit you. It consumes it, which means you can't shuffle and get it back into your deck. And most importantly, it heals and gives us 5 more max HP. we are going to absolutely take advantage of that. It does good damage. It only costs 1 mana. That triangle at the top is how much mana a spell costs. It only costs 1, and we get max HP every time we use it. So we're going to try to make it a point to use that in every battle. And now we get our first artifact. So, when it comes to artifacts, you have a choice of 3 usually. Some are more useful than others. Healing 250 HP right now is a waste of time. Restoring 0.1 mana when you cast a spell is actually very helpful. It keeps you from being at a situation where you can't actually cast a spell. Starting battles with 40 shield is also good. Shields basically block damage from in front of you. There's attacks that launch from the sky that completely ignore shields, but they block damage from in front of you, and unlike Battle Network, if you guys know that, it instead has its own health. So let's say you have a 40 shield on and get hit by an attack that does 60 damage, you'll take 20 damage because the extra 20 will go over to your actual health. But restoring 0.1 mana is more useful overall, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, so we only have 1 path to go to, so not really confusing where we're going here. Again, it definitely helps to take note of enemy patterns. You're going to want to see what they're doing and how they operate. But the main thing you want to focus on when things get confusing, and I promise you they will, is where you are and where you can move. You notice those things are flying in? Get off of that row. If you notice that there are red little dots on the screen or squares that are targeting your area, get out of that area. Find a spot that is unperturbed and go there. It's gonna take a lot to mentally get used to that, but it'll absolutely be helpful. See, now we're actually stuck here because we have 2 options that look pretty good. Again, I want Jam, and specifically for the possibility of getting good effects with Jam. Usually they do come later. But being able to gain 2 spell power repeatedly over the course of a fight can make spells that do little amounts of damage, like machine gun spells or something along the lines of that, do a lot of damage. Because a machine gun spell will do 5 damage for 12 shots. But then if you gain 2 spell damage, if you gain 2 spell power, that 5 becomes 7 damage per shot. And then that becomes 9, then 10, then 15, then 20. And then if you're doing 20 damage per shot for 12 shots, it's like 220 damage right there if you can manage to hit all of it. But for the sake of the build we're going for, we're going to go with the skewer. It doesn't cost anything, so it's free to use. We don't have to wait to charge or load it up, and it'll be helpful. Now this is going to be our first boss, or mid-boss. We have to keep our eyes on the field. Don't want to get caught up and attacked by something that we could easily avoid. It gets difficult, it really does, but you just have to keep your eyes focused on your character and the immediate spaces that they can move. Sometimes if you see a lot of things going on, if you have the timing for it, you can instead opt to move completely out the way, but mostly it's a matter of finagling around so you don't get hit. And just trying to go away from where the squares are. The main thing is we don't want to take too much damage because healing is not guaranteed. Okay, so we actually got an artifact from this. You actually can get a little pet puppy that pulls the enemies towards you. Like, there will be a puppy that follows you. It's adorable, but it's not what wins us. We need luck. It makes enemies more difficult, but it gives us better items and spells as we go along, and we're gonna need all the luck we can get. Let me see. Gain 6 haste. This increases your speed on the ground. When you shuffle, you don't really need it. This gives us more damage when we're shooting our basic weapon, because it'll actually launch a missile at them. We'll go for that. Not stuff we'd actively want normally, but it's good to have. Alright, now we have this guy that is moving around. Alright, got it. So that one gave us an artifact. We kill these things so that they can give us... use it. Almost forgot to use the thing where it gives me +5 max HP. You can use that during anything resembling a battle and it'll just keep going. So by the end of this, I'll probably get +50 from all this. Railgun. We'll get gems for it, so we'll take that. Okay, onward to the shop. Okay, so this is our shopkeep. You press the plus button to open up the shop, and you have a lot of options here. So okay, so we have a lot of options here at the shop. Left-hand side has artifacts, mid side has spells, and the right has a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to have to go through. So, packs, basically you have a debuff that lasts however many battles it says, and it does what it says. Lose 30 spell power can straight up make certain spells useless. Like, let me see. This spell here will only do 10 damage per hit if we lose 30 spell power, but we gain 150 max HP. Lose 5 money when you shuffle, gain 25 money, lasts for 2 battles. Pretty good if you see something here that you actually want. Add 2 kunais at the start. Kunais are 0 cost, 40 damage things that are consumed. Flow is flow. There's nothing here that I really particularly want, so what we're going to do is we're going to refresh to see what else she got. Now, normally these things cost around the 90-70 range for the artifacts, so the artifacts is not something that we're going to end up really getting much out of if we don't have a lot of money. But we do have access to more packs. Now, let me see. Increase shuffle time. Let's go with this one just to give an example. So now we actually have a pact, an upgrade, I should say. This allows us to give any one of our spells a buff by pressing Y on it. So we're going to do that for this one, so we can see what it could give us. Fire piercing lasers, add 2 gems, 25% chance to leave damage. This one will give us a chance, well, it'll just straight up apply fragile, which makes the next hit on that enemy deal 50% more damage. This one will give us 10 shield. We'll take the shield. Shield is nice. And now we move on to the boss. Okay, so bosses all obviously have special patterns and things that they're good at. This particular boss is basically what she likes to do is she sets a lot of traps, I guess is the word I can call it. Structures, there you go, structures. She sets up a lot of structures, and said structures tend to block your path and can deal damage in a lot of ways. Oh, this is actually bad. So, she has a couple of attacks you need to watch out for. A lot of these you'll end up learning as you play. But one of the main things is this attack here. You need at least one spot where you can move back and forth when you're fighting her early form. Oh, that's another thing. Bosses and enemies get way more difficult the longer you fight them. Well, the longer you're playing, the further along you get. There's certain bosses you kind of want early because they are absolutely horrible. But okay, look. We managed to beat her basically by throwing stuff at her and moving out the way. You have the option to either kill the boss by attacking them again after that 1 HP, or ignoring the boss and going on to somewhere else. When you ignore them, they heal you for 400 HP, which is a goddamn godsend, and they actually can help you in battle. Like now, here she is, giving that girl a shield. What she normally does is that she'll summon structures that'll help you out. And, you know, it's just useful to have. But a lot of the times, if you want to beat this game, the main thing you want to focus on is saving the bosses rather than hurting them. The buff that they get for saving them is way, way, way more useful than the buffs that you would get by killing them. Alright, so... what should we do? So, right here, you notice that this thing at the bottom is red. What this does is that it makes all of the battles to come more difficult. It also makes it so that the shopkeeper ends up getting this yandere thing going on, and she starts, what's the word I'm looking for? She starts taking blood instead of money to buy stuff from her. But the main thing is, since the battles are more difficult, we get better rewards and higher experience from it, so we're gonna go here. Since it's early enough, it's not gonna be too particularly difficult, but I don't recommend it if you're not used to it yet. We're just going with it because I already know what I'm doing, and I know how to deal with this kind of crap. So we have in our deck right now the one on the B slot, one of the main spells that we need to really take this run. I can't remember. Let me double check because there's two spells like it. Minigun, Gain Trinity. If it's full, cast this thrice. Okay. We're not gonna take anything here because even though the minigun is pretty good, it doesn't really relate to anything we're doing. So we're going to just leave it alone. The more cards you have in your deck, the more attacks you obviously have before shuffle, but the harder it is for you to get to something you actually need. Now, this thing here, Jam Slam, is one of the main damage dealers we're going to have throughout the rest of the run, and it's one of the main reasons why we focus on double lift. Every single jam that you do gives this an extra attack. It does 60 damage 4 tiles away, which is where that little cursor thing is, for every jam you've cast in a battle. And it also gives you 1 extra jam to cast. So this ends up becoming useful because at higher, longer battles where you're surviving for a lot longer, where you have a lot of jams to cast, this can easily end up doing something like 20 hits. So you'll end up getting something along the lines of like 1200 damage just from that one move, just from taking advantage of using jam over and over and over again. This is one of the reasons why we actually kept this push item, so we could save a person that's in that particular situation, because that formation shows up a lot, without killing them. And hey look, the other thing that we actually want, the Frost Barrage. This one is just an easy way to get Frost onto an enemy, because, I'll show you actually, it hits 3 rows. Frost good. Okay. So from here, it's just basically going through the motions, looking for things that'll specifically help the build you're going for. Oh, that guy's still alive. Let's cast some jams, power up the Jam Slam real quick. And then... oh, screwed up. Boom. That's all it takes. Fire shot and gain 50 shield. On flow. You know what? We're gonna take this just because it gives us shield while doing damage with no other auxiliary costs. And it feels nice to have some extra shield lying around. Okay. Now we have 2 options here. Well, 3. These are actually all pretty good. Deal 10 damage to all enemies when you get hit. Heal HP equal to the number of spells in your deck at the start of battle. And gain 1 max mana. Personally, because I'm on the path of saving all of these bosses, I don't like taking this if there are other better options, and max mana is absolutely one of the things that we need the most. There are spells that you can get that are ridiculously strong, that specifically have a mana cost. Okay, so this is one such fight where I kind of had to take the damage in order to be able to save the girl. There's not much I could do there. It shoots 1 shot. The shot will definitely kill that girl if I'm not blocking it or I don't have a structure to block it. So even though I ended up taking more damage than she healed, I still ended up saving her. Definitely focus on what type of girls are there. If you have full health and you have a healing nurse lady, there's no need to take that damage, but if you have something that'll give you an artifact, then definitely worth. I just kind of save them on principle at this point. Forces of habit. Alright. We definitely need to get rid of the guy on the bottom first, the little square thing, because that guy is spawning more ice dudes that is making my life uncomfortable. And there we go. Yeah, a lot of this is going to end up being something along the lines of you get used to it the more you play it. But in the meantime, just watching and seeing how you move and paying attention to your character rather than the enemies on screen helps you a lot as far as dodging certain things. There's some enemies you have to look at to know where they're going, some not. Okay, this girl actually threw me off the first time. These little green things, you have to make sure you go out of your way to land on, because she will do a very big attack like that that will take off a lot of your health if you are not prepared for it. But only when it's green. If it's red, you gotta avoid. Otherwise, just fight her as normal. Dodge the thing she does. Try and keep an eye on where your body is. I tend to just generally look for where not to be when there's a lot of red on the screen, because red is usually bad. I missed that entirely. We're just gonna keep going with whatever she's doing. She's giving me a whole lot of shield right now. Oh, I think I messed up. Her whole thing is rhythm. I think she's like some kind of... Well, she's obviously some kind of violinist. Something... Oh my god. Basically rhythm game roguelike BS. I think she's close to death though. Yeah, we're fine. Game. And now we save her because she's helpful. They are always helpful. Make sure you save everybody. Don't sacrifice anyone. You can sacrifice them later once you've beaten the game in the first place. This particular enemy only takes 1 damage from anything you do, so it's best to just shoot it with your regular little shooty gun. Fire a shot 4 tiles away for every flow stat. Gain 1 flow on hit, gain 1 flow. When this hits, give the target 180 shield. No. See, this does a lot of damage at 200, and it has a cost of 0, but it has the disadvantage of giving them a very large shield afterwards. I usually don't like giving my enemy stuff. There are uses for this kind of deal. Some characters just completely deplete shield on hit of their main weapon. But for the main character that we're using, not very useful. So let us see. We don't have any upgrades. We have a removal. I don't really feel good removing anything we have right now. So onward. Okay. So we have 154 money. I don't know what to call them. Credits, cash, something. We have 154 something. They can... definitely get us something neat at the shop, but that boss is going to give us a guaranteed artifact, and we need more of those, so we're going to go for that. And we're going to go down here to the structure battle, just because you tend to get more rewards from them by default. If we can convince these guys to just kindly hit that bloody looking monolith, then they will be hurt by it. I don't think they want to cooperate. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop. So, that monolith does a lot of damage if it hits you, but one of the guy died. One of the guys dead, so I kind of just focused on that. Push back enemies in first 3 columns, gain 1 flow, apply fragile on hit. I actually like this. It basically pushes them all the way to the back row. And the fact that it gives them plus 50% on the next hit. Useful. And we level up. Please give us something for either Frost or Jam. It has done neither of these things. We're going to go with the flow thing. We have certain spells that do give us flow, and we'll get extra damage when we have it, so why not? Also going to make our damnedest attempt to break that thingy. Or fail entirely. That was also an option. Yeah, keep an eye out on your screen. It kind of sucks when you could do something, only you can't move because the freaking tile is cracked. Because that went from free health to looking stupid in like 2.5 seconds. Not a good thing to do. Okay, where are we going? We're going to fight Boss Man and then heal and then save somebody in distress that could also be heals. Problem is, Boss Man might be difficult. Oh, we can get the box. Give it, give it, give it. Good. Okay. We actually got an extra artifact from that box that we... Oh, God. That we just opened. Oh, boy. Yeah, when that starts happening, it's better to just move around. Chances are you won't get caught too much. This is what we call bad. This is what we call really bad. There's a lot of crap happening that we don't want to happen. I may well die. You definitely don't want to die if you can help it. Well, we managed to not... Yeah, after a certain point during all of that mess... Oh, this is useful. Oh, we get more stuff. How much luck do we got? You could actually see in your deck at the bottom left all your stats. The red sword is how much damage your main shooty weapon does. The blue Hadouken is how much extra damage your spell does. The shield icon is how much defense you have. So basically, if you're going to take 60 damage and you have 3, you'll take 57. And the bottom right is luck. We should probably go with shield, but we're going to go with luck. Just for such an occasion as we get something really good. Gain defense equal to your current mana. Stop time for 1 second. We're going to go with mana regeneration. As you'll notice, I've had a lot of times where I was just kind of stuck waiting for my mana to regenerate. We want to minimize that to as close to 0 as we can get it. There's a bunny here. I do not know what it does. I have no idea. I've killed it. I've healed it. It just is there. So we're gonna leave that guy alone. Alright, we managed to do that without killing her. For a second I thought there was no options, but cool. Missile bounces between enemies. Flame leaves a shot on head. We're gonna ignore this. Also, PK fire. Shoutouts to Smash. Okay, this girl is actually kind of rough. She likes to shield herself and then use that shield to attack you. She also likes doing this. You kind of just have to step with her when she does that move. Well, with the attack itself. And we're just going to assault her. Ooh. Assault her as much as we can. Well, whenever she has that big shield on, you're going to want to go to either the top or the bottom column? Row? Row. Row's the word. Yeah, I'm really bad at dodging this, but just keep your eyes open and you should be fine. Ooh, okay. Yeah, forgot about that. So she has that particular move where she puts on a Reflector Shield, and it basically kind of directly just punishes you for using your main weapon. Ooh, yeah, this is rough. This is rough. Up. We're just gonna go to wherever it's not. Up, up. Alright, she's back with the shield thing again. Whoop. So far we're actually doing pretty good. I actually straight up wasted that fragile there, but it's okay. We are not dead, and that is priority number 1. We're going to use more of these jams, and I think we can actually kill her with this next jam slam if she's not blocking it. I just need her more stationary. There we go. Up, not yet. Close. Freeze her again. Because she had those free stacks, she gets an extra 100 damage. And she has a frost stack from that, even though she took like no damage. Okay! She's a stressful one, but we survive. You definitely, no matter whether or not you're going for a heal run or a death run or whatever, you always want to save her because what she does for you is she gives you a self-res. So basically you're rocking 2 self-reses. It's wonderful. Alright, so at this point is around when it starts getting pretty dang hard. The enemies start getting more varied in patterns. They start pairing up some really mean pairings together. It's pretty difficult overall, but it's okay. So long as we keep our cool and don't do anything particularly stupid, we should be fine. See, look, flawless victory, we got healed, nothing bad happened. We're gonna ignore this. Nothing there seemed good. We actually have a lot of money now, though. We have a good amount of frost and a good amount of jam in our deck. So what we might do is we might change our focus a little bit. I kind of want more shield, and I kind of want more things that give us flow. So I guess that's Hearth and Phalanx. So going forward, we'll see more stuff that, you know, gives us shield and gives us flow. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, it probably helps to remember how enemies work. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, as the game goes along, it gets hard. Oh, that guy in the back. Okay, so those little containers are actually enemies. If you do enough damage to them... Oh, he hit the revenge turret. If you do enough damage to them, it will break it, and then... What's the word I'm looking for? It'll break it and then spawn an enemy that you have to then kill. Fire shot, lose 2 money. If this kills an enemy, gain 4 money. Consume. 2 times damage and consume. That's a lot of damage. Alright. Moving right along. Nothing bad happened. They seem hellbent on healing us, so we're gonna take it. Oh, okay. Take advantage of that. Or at least attempt to. I had no idea that would kill, by the way. It was worth it for the fact of hurting the thing in the first place. Okay. Last thing to take care of is this guy. Because of that little missile upgrade that we got, we kind of have homing attacks that also leave fire, I think? No. They just do damage. Oh, cold snap. Very good. Very, very good. You press a button, everything gets freeze. Alright, what do we got? We have this that we want. That we want. There we go. Cool. Cool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, we're getting touched. It's not good. I feel moderately trapped. I feel extremely trapped. Yep. Up. Jam slam. Just gonna... Cool! Yeah, I kind of had to get into a little bit of a focus mode so I can just not die. There's no reason not to take this. When it comes to artifacts, usually just take it. Because this has a net bonus effect rather than a one-time effect, we're gonna take the one that heals. See what else we get here. Applying poison deals 5 damage. A turtle that drops a shield whenever it gets hit. That's cute. We'll go with mana regeneration though. See what the shop has for us. All enemies start with 20 poison. We will take mana regeneration. We're gonna shuffle you. Stop time with the shuffle. Shuffle you again. 20 shield when you consume a card. This is one of the things that we need, that we took Jam for. because jam and other related items, they are consumables. We only have 93 money, but luckily, if we give 100 blood, we now have enough. So we're going to take that, and now every single time we cast a jam, we're going to gain 20 shield. Something like this can legitimately just carry us. Alright. See, now we're rocking 131 shield, and I honestly don't know how, but it's fine. Because that's good for us. And we have a little pet gun. So, you know, bonus. The pets heal after every battle, but they can die. Try to make it so that they don't die, but, you know, don't feel too beat up if they do. I don't really want any of these. Because again, we're trying to have things that relate to what we're setting up right now. Alright, this girl, she's basically Ice Proto-Man. Kind of funny, actually. Oh, messed that up. Up, down, down, up. Oh, messed that up. See, normally, when you're fighting this girl in the earlier phases, these don't return. But because we are in around the halfway mark, she's getting it. Ooh, new pattern. I think we used Cold Snap, but she moved out of the way. That's not something you want to happen. Generally, you just want to stay on the move with characters like these. Oop, oop, oop. I did not time that right. Oh. I did not time that right either. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jam Slam. Okay, we got the thing that stops time for a few seconds every time we shuffle. I get it now. The advantage to that is that at any point, we can just press shuffle. And shuffle. 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna watch where she's going. Because we have the time stop thing, we're going to absolutely abuse the heck out of it. And she... Jam Slam is strong, guys. Jam Slam is strong. This is why we're doing this. Okay, we're gonna heal her. She's gonna heal us. And we're gonna move on. Now what she does to help you, she'll randomly show up on screen and just deal a lot of damage to things. Like, she'll just slash a lot of enemies and give them all fragile. So, net buff for everything, really. Let me see. Hit enemies back and forth in game 1 play. You know, we don't need this. We're going to change our focus from her back over to... Let me see. Healing, pain, poison, fragile, shield protection, sword, blades, kunais. We're going to change this back over to deck card manipulation and jam the double lift. You can keep the shield and protect for now, though. We don't need any of these, though. So we're going to move on. Alright, where are we at? We have no money, so what we're going to focus on now, since we're kind of hurting a little bit, is we're going to try to get to that healing spot. Now this is... I definitely just killed the health. Wasn't the goal, but it is definitely what just happened. Feel a little bad. I didn't even know that was the last enemy. There were so many things on screen. Okay. Dash forward and hit 4 tiles in front. Remove shield from target's anchor. 25% chance to apply frost on hit. Thunder, gain flow. Caches restore mana. This costs nothing. Might as well. Alright. Homegirl helping us out. Hit them with the tsunami. Get that. Boom. I tend to walk right into that so often, and it bothers me. It's fine. We're doing good. We're slowing these guys down. We're just surviving. It's going good. And we get random shield. So that helps. What else we got? Gain 3 mana regen, add 3 gems to your deck at the start of battle. This will help. More gems means stronger gem slam. Okay. This is a lot of crap on screen. Do not be afraid to like pause it sometimes if you need to take in the wonder and amazement of everything you're witnessing. Also, that little thing that was walking around, the lightning bolt guy thing, definitely worth killing immediately. Also, we accidentally woke up both the snakes. It's not the best scenario, but it could also be worse. The snakes are annoying, but they're not what I would consider particularly lethal. Just annoying, really. Oh yeah. Press the shuffle button. Oop. Yeah, this is just gonna involve a lot of moving around. I'm just trying to be where they're not. It's no particular rhyme or reason as to why I'm moving up or down. I'm just trying to be not near their hurt sections. I like how all of that missed. Okay, this is another good one. Fire a shot for every gem in your deck, add 1 gem to your deck, consume. So basically, we start off with at least 3. We have a couple of more from some of the other ones that we use, some of the other laser beams and stuff. So if we hold on to Gem Cannon before we start using our gems, this thing will deal absurd amounts of damage. And it's literally one of these, either a good Jam Slam or something like this with good features, that we build our entire decks around just so that we can basically one-hit KO most of the enemies and bosses we have to come across. Alright. Oof. Oh, we have our jam gun thing. What? Oh, we managed to kill people without having to use it. Hits give the target 200 shield. No. Break and throw tiles above and below. Game on flow. No. Pull back half the field. Restore half mana cost. You know what? Why not? Basically, it just means it costs 1 mana. Okay, this girl is literal bullet hell. We're gonna let that gun do its damage. I'm also going to obviously just walk directly into all of that. This girl's kind of trouble. We're gonna use the Jam Slam one instead of the other laser because 1, it doesn't get consumed, and 2, it gets its use out of the number of jams you have already used. I mean, yeah, the ones you've already used rather than the ones you currently have available to use. Oh Christ. Oh Christ. Oh no. Oh no. Walking into damage. Not good, not good. But it's okay. Now we're gonna hit her with this, and it's gonna do a lot of damage. Alright. Our jams are gonna give us a lot of shield. Shuffle's gonna stop time. We could also theoretically wait until we use more of those lasers, since all of those lasers also give us... Ooh, ooh, ooh! That was bad. Jam Slam. Up. There we go. That was rough. Got a little bit difficult. It's okay. We're alive. Somehow. Our main goal is to get to the final boss, preferably without dying once. If we can manage to pull that off, I'm fairly certain that we win. If not, it might be a little more difficult. Remember, each of those is 160 damage per hit, so that's it's pretty good. Time slow is good. Time slow is good, but we can do that at the press of a button. The swipe gives us both a jam and a kunai. Both of those are consumables, which means we get more shields for free. So we're gonna take advantage. Where are we going? Alright, so right now we're at the later stages, so we don't want to get too risky as far as the enemy types we're fighting. So we're gonna go for the heals. I am now at a decent area of risk in which it benefits me more to focus on life. Okay, this enemy is an interesting one. It will only attack you if you use a spell. So if you sit here and hold ZR and don't use a spell, it'll just stay there and take it. It's usually paired with something else that would make you really want to use a spell, though. Let's see. You know what, we're not going to take these. I don't want to consume other spells. I just want spells that consume themselves. I am bothered at that $3.99. That is not fair. Just 1 point. You couldn't do me that one solid. Fine. Alright. Alright. You know, this went well. I'm not sure if we took damage, but okay, we did. Throw across turret 4 tiles away, gain 10 shield. I have... Oh wait, we could hold ZR to see what this means. Oh. See, here's the thing about those turrets, though. They can absolutely hurt you. I learned that the hard way once. We're not going to take that. No unnecessary risks. 100 money while you have fragile... You know, let's gain 100 money. At some point in time, we're going to go to the shop. Not now. We want health. But at some point, we're going to go to the shop. And the shop is going to prove very beneficial. I think we can convince these guys to kill themselves by holding this button and not using any spells. Because if we use spells, the triangle guy is going to do damage. And if we don't, those guys are going to keep hitting the don't hit me box thing. And yeah. I'm not sure if we just flawless this. We're gonna find out, because half the time I'm not really sure if I'm getting hit or not. But this looks like it went pretty well. Yeah. Sometimes you get really lucky with the hazard stages. Not always, but sometimes. Okay, let me see what we got. Summon a beacon that calls down flames every 3 seconds. Okay, looks like it goes onto the enemy screen and it blocks stuff. It could be useful as a don't hurt me. Doesn't seem to be something that can damage us, but okay. When this hits, gain 10 shield anchor, 25% to chance twice. You know what? Let's go with the shield beam. Shield sounds good. Shield is nice, right? You want to be protected. You don't want to get smacked by laser beams or what you will see in the future as complete and utter bull. So we're gonna get more shield, and hopefully we can protect this girl. We were not able to protect this girl. I might have panicked and murdered her. It's okay. You win some, you accidentally murder some. Okay. This guy's actually kind of rough. He's gonna shoot a lot. All right. These mines you can avoid by moving very quickly. Wow. What? We're still alive. He's not gonna hurt us too bad yet. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have to follow the order that he actually drops those because. Woo! 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 Oh my god! That absolutely hit us. It's okay though. We are what? Okay. I'm only slightly confused. Cool thing though is his theme sounds kind of like Akuma's theme from Alpha 3. Oh, we're gonna need to hit him with this, which means we need to wait until he's a little more stationary. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3. A lot of this is just me knowing where to go though. And now that we're taking taking advantage of our jams and consumables, we have a lot of shield. We should be relatively okay. Whoa. Because now we have the main things that we need to focus on. We have frost, we have shields, and we have jam damage. 2, 3, up, doom, doom, down. And now with a good, oh Christ. 4, 5, 6. Up. Jam slam might end it if he stays still. Bad boy. He has a lot of shield. When did he get that shield? Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that happens that you don't necessarily actively recognize, but that's okay. Ooh. What matters is you managed to murder 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. We survived. Alright. This is actually going to be the last full stage area. So we're going to go to the shop, wherever that may be. Okay, this guy is going to kill himself. He deals a lot of damage to himself with the poison. It's kind of his thing. But you got to be careful with the damage you deal to him as well, because if you hit him in a certain number of ways, certain weak attacks, like, you know, regular shots, you will increase his shield and can make this last forever. But we're gonna hit him with the money thing so he can get an extra 2 money, because or he'll just die. Never mind. My bad. Excuse me. Hello? If Trinity is full, gain shield equal to the damage of the spell and other slot. Gain 1 Trinity, apply fragile on hit. Fire a shot that deals damage equal to your shield. Lose all shield. Catch to regain shield. These are pretty good. The only problem is that it gives us fragile. Because if it says it gains fragile on hit or whatever, it means it's going to deal fragile to us since it's not hitting anybody else. Alright, so this is good. What we're going to do, we're going to keep this basic. We're going to do basic attacks, basic fights, and then we're going to try to get to the shopkeeper without being at die %, basically. That pretty much just instantly melted that guy. This is why we use jam, kids. I had no idea how strong the jam thing would be, but I noticed in my playing of this game thus far, jam has not failed me yet. You'll always get at least that one thing that benefits from having jam. And so long as you get jam slam and the other thing that does damage based on jams, you end up doing pretty well. Gain 60 shield if you catch it. Basically, it's going to throw the item in a random spot. If you land on it, it'll give you the shield. I don't know why this guy is not catching it. Oh, there you go. Neat. Can't hurt to have it. Doesn't cost too much. Shield the shield. The more protection we have, the better. Oh, snap. Okay, so that little green triangle of murder and torment only attacks based on how many times we've moved. Oh. And I think drops random lasers onto the screen? Normally he only attacks based on how many times we've moved, but I think we are so late in the game that they're starting to attack for anything now. Okay, nope. So we're just gonna stand here and hit him. Man, that jam thing is good. Okay, alright, doing good. Doing good. Moving right along, summon a laser turret, consume, double cast, consume. Plus mana cost. You know what? Having 2 laser turrets would be beneficial to us. They could block things, they could do damage, and we're nearing the end game. We need what we can get. Alright. We need to get to that shop. This is the last chance we'll get to actually get there. Unfortunately, we have to fight a boss to do it. But as they say, greatness requires sacrifice, risk, stress, all of those things. If you ask me how I'm not hit yet, the answer is I don't know. Or, I mean, I'm pretty sure I did get hit, but I didn't get too badly hurt, and that's all that matters. Gain 4 spell power and fragile. You know what? We'll just take the heals. Thank you. I don't like having fragile. Fragile makes me feel uncomfortable. Gain 4 spell power, lose 4 defense. How much defense do we have? 0? We're not going to do that then. We're going to gain the attack damage. Why not? It can't hurt too bad. Alright, Shopkeep. Give us some good. First shuffle, instant hit enemies with the laser. Fire a shot, duplicate the spell. Poison, no, no, no. We're going to definitely buy an upgrade. We're going to restock. Give me that. Give me that. Shuffle. More max mana. I should have looked at this. I just got too attracted to the artifacts. Okay. We're gonna upgrade something. We're gonna upgrade something that can help us. Let's upgrade Jam Slam. This can't help but do mad damage for no reason. Oh man. As tempting as this is, jams and other consumables end at the bottom of the deck, and if we use this once, we consume it, which means we won't have access to it again. We're gonna want to repeatedly spam this, so we're just gonna keep the basic and take the gain 10 shield when we use it, because, you know, better than nothing. Alright, we also have the opportunity to remove one of our spells. Step Slash at this point we don't really need. Okay, making our way. Hopefully this doesn't end absolutely horribly, but I believe that these actual evil bunnies are scary, but we'll be okay. God bless jam attacks, man. Also, word of advice, if you can help it, put the turrets that shoot at people onto the enemy field. It's generally better to have them in a place where they can't actively hurt you. Now we're using all of our gems, our kunais, getting mad shield for no reason, and buffing that Jam Slam, so that when we get this guy stationary and shoot it, it dies. Fantastic. Okay, what do we got? Fire the shot that equals damage to your shield, lose all shield, catch the regain shield, consume, gain heal. It's a lot of words, man. It's a lot of reading. We'll get the shield throw. Why not? That could potentially do a lot of damage for us, and worst case scenario, we get more max HP. Alright, this guy's actually really tough normally, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to pull this off. Because I've never fought him as, like, the last enemy before the final boss before. I'm hoping this goes well. We have to make sure we generally stay out of his line of attack. Oh, well, we caught it. Actually, didn't expect to do that. I probably should have looked at that before I used it, but, you know, it's fine. We're still alive. Okay, oh crap. Yeah, I was just about to say, you want to stay out of the way of that, because it hurts. But I could also just walk directly into it like, you know, some kind of idiot. Oh! You just want to stay at a spot where you couldn't get pushed into it no matter what happened. That was a waste. It's okay. I'm slightly stressed out. That makes our mistakes okay. It's okay to make... Oh god! Yeah, see, this is where it starts getting difficult. That's why we're going to use all of... Okay. All of our jams. All of our jams. Give me that shield. Get our kunais to get more shield. Alright, we need you to be slightly stationary, buddy boy. I neglected the fact that I have homing missiles, so we're going to use those. And then it's going to stop time. Yes. Now, because this is a roguelite, as they... Oh god. As they are called. I got hit by that. When he hits you with that, it adds a whole bunch of jams to your deck, which is actually beneficial for us. But it also forces you to shuffle, which is also actually beneficial for us because of what we got. So, you know, in reality, he's kind of helping us with the exception of the fact that it does damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Giving us more jams. What? If you can't tell, I'm a little nervous. We need to take as little damage here as possible because we do not want to go into what is about to be the final battle with any less than maximum health because the final boss is terrible. Wow. I can't remember what this does on Trinity. Oh, it just gives us mad shield, right? Okay, guess we're shuffling now. And this is why we get all sorts of jam, man. We have so much shield and so many things that are helping us. Oh, crap. That we have barely taken any damage. Oh, Christ. That's actually bad. But we can push you. Yo, he's gotta stop. I'm feeling moderately uncomfortable with all... Oh, snap. Oh, crackle. Oh, pop. You know how long it's been since I've had Rice Krispies? Kind of unrelated to the guide, but, you know, sometimes you just think of cereal. Yeah, even though I missed the majority of that, you notice how many shots it fired, right? That's what we're looking for. Like, right now, even if I shot... Oh! Schmovin'. Don't ask me how I dodged that. I'm legit just, like, mostly panicking at this point. Which is fine. You can panic, just panic in the right ways. I know that sounded like the dumbest thing you probably ever heard, but just trust me, it makes sense. Just move in such a way that it doesn't completely bamboozle you. Okay, so now we have saved everybody, and we are on to the final boss. This girl! She's horrible. I don't like her. She does things I do not like this. It's difficult to dodge. Not gonna lie to you. This is also difficult to dodge. Doesn't help that she's cracking panels. Alright, so we actually have the jam attack with us right now. We need to make sure we hit her with this crap. After we use all of our other lasers and stuff. Like that one. Oh, she's standing still. That's mad damage for no reason. We take advantage. Oh. Okay. This is actually one of her more manageable attacks. It's kind of like the Shield Girl's attacks, only, you know, worse, but not terrible. Whatever you do here, don't just stand where she was at when I don't know what this attack is. I've never seen it before. Jam Slam. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Hit you with that. Hit you with lasers. We're gonna catch that shield. Thanks, homie. Whoop. We're gonna use that. Whoa. Okay. So we're actually approaching the point where we kill her. Pretty quickly, might I add, because jams are good. And our life is in a pretty good spot. I still don't know what this does, but I know what Jam Slam does. It slams you with the jams. Big Mama Jam, sorry. I've noticed that the game kind of can't handle itself after a certain point. Doesn't matter, Jam Slam. Okay. So she does that attack. But if we saved everyone and didn't die up to this point, she gets absolutely rectangled by the entire boss cast of this game. Yeah. 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 Okay, so technically, we have beaten this game. Only thing is, I've never killed her before, so we're gonna just do that. Last time I spared her, and we had a happier ending. This time, I don't know what we're about to see. She looked up, and that was just it. Also, there's a special thanks if you want to partake in, you know, this. But that was one step from Eden, basically, pretty much. Just jam, slam, thank you, ma'am. It's pretty useful crap. And it has literally carried us through my second actual victory of this game. So we're just gonna skip this, because it's credits, you're shooting names, it doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's a pretty good basic guide as far as dealing with this game. There are a metric ton of other options that you can also choose to do. Case in point, all of the characters. All of the new artifacts, the different types of spells and stuff, that all have completely different methods of using it. This is where a lot of your replayability will come in, because they all need completely different styles of play. I can guarantee the jam style is not going to help with most of the rest of these characters, considering how different they are. Just for example, this character's main weapon costs 1 mana, creates a reflecting shield. The artifact gives her a shield when she moves, and most of her stuff either give her shields or just, you know, damage diagonally and stuff. So they operate pretty different, and they don't they probably wouldn't benefit from the same stuff. But if your struggle is just beating this game, now you know how. So thank you for watching my wonderful guide. I hope you all have learned something, and I will see you later.